Hi, welcome to Moose Jaw This Week. I'm your host, Lyle Johnson, and today we have a special show to talk about the proposed termination or pause or whatever of the Moose Jaw Snowbirds for 431 Squadron. And I've got two guests today to talk about it who have a lot of information and also have a lot of good connections. So I've got His Worship Mayor James Murdock today and Melissa MacLean, who is one of the pushers to make this happen. And so thank you both for coming down to make a connection here. So let's see what the announcement happened, when it happened, what happened. Melissa, what?
I would say, I mean, the announcement came out, and just in conversations with other community members and friends that sit on various boards and that I'm very close with, it was kind of like that shock and awe moment of that announcement being made, and that disappointment and just kind of let down feeling quickly turned into action. And it was like, what can we do? How can we stop this from happening, or how can we shine a light on what's happening to maybe make them reconsider or find a transition plan until 2030? And then it just became a matter of talking to the right people and put the wheels into motion. Our community is very good at rallying and coming together when there is a cause that something needs action. So it was another one of those moments where everybody kind of came together and put their heads together and started the work.
And James, you made your sort of new connection.
Yes.
So you're, of course, being your hometown.
That's right.
And Melissa's from there as well. So,
correct, Lyle.
And so a good impetus there to make things happen. So,
exactly, Lyle.
You were, I loved your reaction. You were just shocked that you were annoyed. I was going to use another phrase. But
Yeah, I think, the day of the announcement on the 19th of May, at 15 Wing, when Minister McGuinty was present. It was a lot of mixed emotions for everyone that that was there for the announcement. Because going into that, Lyle,
we had no thought.
We were not updated on what the decision was. Other than if we could be present for the 19th of May. For an announcement with Minister McGuinty. So it started out, in my mind, very, very positive with the announcement that there would be new planes, for the Snowbird Squadron with the PC-21s. So that was well received. But then in the next sentence, it was, they'll, at the end of the 2026 season, they will be grounded, until sometime into the 2030s when the new planes are ready for them. So it was... really, it was difficult to comprehend it all.
Yeah, because it was a shock.
It was.
And the whole thing came like, what are you talking about? And because the government had, so 3 years ago, spent $30 million to upgrade the airplanes so they would last until the 3030. So, and you said, well, that's done. And then they said, no, that's... We'll just throw that money away.
No, exactly. Because even you think back, Lyle, I think it was maybe the 3rd or 4th week in March, Prime Minister Carney was out in Halifax where 2 of the tutors are being, I'll call it, refurbished, with the new electronics and that in the cockpit, and everything was very, very positive, because that would bring it up to 13 planes that would be, fully retrofitted, let's say, ready to go. And then, just under 2 months later, so...
It was, and it was just like difficult for them to understand. But they don't realize the fabric, they, being the government of the day, aren't aware of the fabric of Canada that the snowbirds are such an integral part of. And they are just so much. So, being an outside civilian and yet an inside person, how did that affect you?
think it was an oversight on their part, truly. I mean, the snowbirds are a national symbol. They are as relevant as any of our other national symbols are. Maybe they're not listed as one of the national ones on the Wikipedias of the world, but everybody in Canada knows the snowbirds. People around the world easily recognize them. They are part of the fabric of our heritage. They represent so many different things, whether it's teamwork, excellence, training. They're a fantastic recruitment tool for the forces. So to take that symbol that means so many things away without much of a thought, or what seems like not much of a thought when that announcement came out as such a shock after positive feedback and refurbishing, it's a little bit disappointing to see that.
Yeah. So today, as we film this, what's the situation? What is the plan for them to do?
Well, I
I
think, Lyle, maybe the best update that I can provide is that there is strong communications and talks going on with the Snowbird alumni. So they're having strong interaction, with Ottawa in, I'll state, presenting the case that, there are other options, that we can work with and come up with to see that the snowbirds keep flying until the new planes are ready, or at least narrow that gap until the new planes are received. So,
and one of the things you have is the shirts, which I at the snowbird, I got a picture of you and your family.
Yeah, you did. You stopped us.
Yeah. I said, I want that picture.
Yep.
And it says no pause.
No pause.
And the snowbirds, keep the snowbirds flying in this pattern, because it's so hard to stop something and start it again.
It really is.
Yeah.
It is, absolutely. And I mean, the amount of training that goes into the work that they do is, even if they get the new planes delivered in 2030, they're not going to be doing shows right that second.
They're not?
No.
They have to develop a plan. They have to develop a show. And I mean, the Alumni Association, they've created these shows. They've worked on them in the maneuvers, so they know exactly how much work and time and effort and practice goes into that. So when they say we're getting new planes in 2030, that does not mean that we're going to see the snowbirds back in the sky in any sort of similar fashion as we know them now in that same year.
And the controversy about a jet versus a turboprop.
I personally feel that there's just something about the whole nostalgia of the Snowbird squadron being a jet. Now, I do understand that with the new turboprop that it can maneuver very similarly, but it'll I think bring a different dimension to an aerobatic performance that the Snowbirds would be putting on when the PC-21s do arrive, but that would likely take some time to get used to.
It came upon so suddenly upon us, and so we have to kind of regroup, and very much to get involved the Snowbird alumni, because they are well connected in the political world, but also in the business world.
Yes.
They also know those jets inside and out, right? Like the amount of knowledge that is in the Snowbirds Alumni Association just from firsthand experience and being the ones to design those shows and fly in them, like hopefully they've consulted them and other current pilots as to what their preference would be, instead of just making a decision in isolation, not referring to what experts think or even what the people want to be flying or training in.
Yeah. Because the alumni, Lyle, I think have presented some great options to Ottawa, ranging from reduced formation size, maybe from 9 tutors down to 7, less wear and tear. Even a reduced schedule for performances throughout the season, because it is a hectic schedule, for them.
Or simplified shows.
Yeah, so I think that they've presented some great options, and it's just if dialogue can continue to see if they can somehow come up with a solution or agreement to see that they keep flying. That's
But I think ultimately everybody wants to see a transition plan, not just you're grounded and then nothing. for years and years. It's like, what is the transition plan? What does that look like?
And Lyle, on the 19th of May, with the announcement, they stated due to safety and engineering concerns for the Tudor, that's why they would be grounded at the end of 2026. So I guess a question should be asked, why are they being allowed to continue to fly for this season then if there's a safety and engineering concern? One would almost think that if that is the major cause for having them grounded, should that not be immediate then? I don't know.
I think that just kind of points back to transparency and decision making from the powers that be as well, right? I mean, we get decisions shared with us all the time, and then there's so many questions like, how did you make the decision? Why is that the decision? What else was considered? And I mean, it would take an immeasurable amount of time to share all of those details, but not having a full transition plan tells me that it maybe didn't get the care and attention that it needed when the decision was made.
Yeah. So how do they get involved? They want to say, no pause.
Absolutely. The best way to get information is to visit the website that we put up, keepthemflying.ca. So there you can find out about the postcard campaign that we're running in both official languages. You can find a template for an email to send to your local MP. We're asking people to reach out to your local MPs, to the Prime Minister's office, to anybody you can to make your voices heard and make sure that people know how much the snowbirds mean to everybody and why we don't want to take this sitting down. The website also details other ways that you can get involved. There's a contact form there, so if you have questions, you have ideas, concerns, by all means, send those in. We will share them and just keep track of what we're doing.
I heard a guy on the radio the last couple of days, and I'm going like, you don't understand. The question he asked, he said, well, I've heard they're going to move the squadron to Eastern Canada. This is a place, if you want to train people to fly, why do you think they trained here in the Second World War?
That's it.
The British Commonwealth Air Training Program.
Right.
Why was it here? Because it was wide open spaces and places where people could learn to fly safely.
Well, they've earmarked 15 wing with the future aircrew training. There's been massive investments. They're setting it up to train pilots well into the future. Like, this is where pilots are going to come here and they are going to train.
And from all the
and I mean, those were fantastic announcements. And as citizens of Moose Jaw, we're extremely proud to host that and have them here and to be a part of that history of future pilots as well. So to make those announcements and then follow up with, we're grounding probably the most recognized symbol of the Air Force and the forces in general, it seems very questionable.
We don't have the information that they have, but then I don't think they have the information that we have. Anyway.
And with the postcard campaign, no pause, keep them flying. And I credit Melissa and the other great group of volunteers that have spearheaded this campaign. I think that the great thing about the campaign that's resonating with people from coast to coast to coast is that this is not a political campaign or a petition campaign that has been started. It's just trying to bring to everyone's attention the importance of the snowbirds and what they mean to us as a nation. And it's tugging at people's hearts. And I think that that's why right now, Melissa, is there approximately 30,000 postcards from coast to coast that, that people are just simply
that have already gone out to be sent in.
It's raising the profile and the awareness.
It is.
Of
and reaching people that maybe that don't watch the news on a regular basis and maybe didn't even realize that this was even happening. And it's touching people that don't follow the news or political news closely. And it's like, it's giving those people an opportunity to have their voices heard as well. So it's nice to see people across the country uniting on a topic, and it doesn't matter what your political affiliation is.
Positive, that's it.
It's a very positive topic, and it's really just heartwarming to see, and then to hear the stories from different people. And it's like, whether it was the first time they saw the snowbirds or their first air show, or their family member that's a pilot, or why they themselves became a pilot. There's so many heartwarming stories
Yeah.
that it's just, it's really touching to see everybody uniting on that one thing. I think there's a lot, we don't see that as often as we should nowadays, so it's nice to see that connection.
And the postcard campaign, it's just such a simple campaign, but as I said, it's resonating with people, and it's a way that they can, let Prime Minister Carney know the value of the snowbirds and what they mean to us as individuals of our great country.
Yep.
And when you do have a postcard, it's just a simple concept. You just your name, full mailing address from your community, and put it in the mailbox, because postage is paid and it goes directly to Prime Minister Carney's office.
Yep.
And they are being received.
Yeah, we've had word that they've been received. There's lots of
Yeah.
them. There's lots of them.
That's important.
It is, yes.
They're taking notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have to, as a community, we have to make sure that the people are aware that this program is happening and going forward, and making sure that we keep it in the forefront of their decision-making
So true.
process.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
When
true.
it's nice, it's like we've got the campaign and people uniting, and then here at home we're also taking the time to salute the snowbirds. So we as a group wrote the city and asked that they proclaim the month of July, Moose Jaw in Formation, a community salute to the snowbirds, and that was just a way of us really making sure that the team and the Air Force are well aware of how proud we are to be the home of the snowbirds, as well as to just highlight the great work that they've done, like 55 years, and it's the 55th anniversary this year. I mean, it's great timing with Canada Day and people thinking about national symbols, and then into our hometown event last weekend that saw thousands of people and hundreds more on the rural roads around the municipal airport. It's very important to salute them and show them what they mean to us in town as well as their home. So we've got all kinds of things going on around town to show them that as well, and just share our love for them.
Yeah, because they're such a good representative of our country.
Yep.
Yes.
They are the things that are important. Like they're talented, they're coordinated, they're skilled performers, and they interact with crowds just like we want Canadians to react. And then people go smiling, and they go, "I want to be a pilot," or "I want to be a member of Canadian Armed Forces." And
you think the inspiration that they bring to individuals, like, can you imagine a 7 or 8 year old little Charlie meeting a snowbird for the first time and maybe getting a poster signed or his t-shirt signed? How that can evolve into a future aviation opportunity, or to entice that young individual to make that their career. They are of course they're an ambassador to all of Canada, but they are one of the best recruiting mechanisms for the Air Force as well, and that's something that we need to see that keeps going. They're the best of the best.
they are. And at one time in the last few years, the Snowbirds were chosen the best air demonstration team in the world.
In the world.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Hands down.
the Snowbird Show is designed to share an up close and intimate display with people, and then they get to talk afterwards and stuff like that. I know I've seen them work a crowd, and they get out of the planes and they sit there and they talk, and their families are so proud of
That's
them
right.
when they have a show that the families can be close to. They are rightly proud of the performance of their family members. They that's my son.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
When I think that interaction and the static displays, I mean, that was probably one of my favorite parts of the show on Saturday. I mean, you were walking around before the show got started, and it didn't matter if it was the technicians on the Snowbirds team, it didn't matter if it was Air Force personnel walking around. They took the time to stop and talk to children, to families. They answered questions. They posed for pictures. Like we must have been stopped 3 or 4 times right when we first got there. Like, what are you most excited to see? And then later on it was, are you enjoying the show? What
Yeah.
did you think? Like, they were very invested in the opinions of children and families,
That's
and they
right.
were just very connected to everybody. And it was like, that was above and beyond what you would see at most events, to have that connection.
The community of Moose Jaw has always been very proud and has, embraced that this is the home of the Snowbird Squadron. But also, I think it's something that Southern Saskatchewan and the entire province can be very proud of as well. But they are truly a national identity.
Yeah.
They belong to everyone.
And the first air shows that come on, have always been huge responses. People come from hundreds of miles away just to watch an air show.
I met a family from Montana that was here at the autograph session ahead of the show in the morning on Saturday.
Unbelievable.
We were standing outside waiting for the doors to open and just chatting, and they were up from Montana. I think they'd come up to do some shopping as well, and then came
That's
over.
not a bad thing.
No, it's
No.
fantastic.
That's a narrow point.
Yeah, that's right.
Their dollar's really strong right now here.
Supporting our economy, that's good, contributing, yeah. But I think, Lyle, I for one, I've never, if I can say, taken the Snowbirds for granted.
No.
I embrace everything that they represent, and having them here in Moose Jaw, we are so fortunate and blessed. But I think that really, is there a better feeling, let's say after a weekend performance that they've done, and it's a Sunday afternoon, and they're coming home and they fly down Main Street, just to signal that they made it home safely. That sums it up right there. It's
a special family. What were some of your favorite memories of the Snowbirds and of the air show kind of things in your lives?
A favorite memory that I have of the Snowbirds, Lyle, essentially would have been the first air show that I took in at CFB Moose Jaw back in 1991, and to see them perform, I was in complete awe. Still being a young 20-year-old, that's made a lasting impression on me. And in my mind, they truly define what a national presence they are for everyone, and it's inspiring.
Mine is very similar. Mine was the shows out at CFB in the early 90s. My grandpa retired from the services, being posted here as a pilot. So as children, we spent a lot of time visiting the base, seeing the planes, hearing all the stories, and just really idolizing him as a pilot and the forces as well. So being able to get that kind of extra behind the scenes look and information about it really is just by far my favorite memory. There's tons of pictures of us as kids and all the different planes and stuff out there with the helmets and the gear on and stuff. And my grandma sewed up some of his flying suits into miniature versions for my little brother who shared his name. So it was just the cutest little thing to have my grandpa walking around in his pilot uniform with my little brother who would have been like 3 at the time, walking around in the matching one, like to a T. So those are by far my favorite memories, and was one of the main reasons that I got involved in the campaign.
As the mayor of Moose Jaw, what do you feel that the Snowbirds mean to our community?
Very good question, Lyle. And I think economically, you really can't put a number or figure on that. But what I believe is of great importance that the Snowbirds bring to our community of Moose Jaw is just having their daily presence here, because they have interaction with all of us. Even though they're the trained aviation professionals that they are, as we say, the best of the best. Their presence, of course, is at 15 Wing, but throughout, everyday life, they're visiting.
Part of our family.
They are. They're visiting with their neighbors. They're part of the community's fabric. They're dropping their children off at school. You can bump into them in local restaurants. So they're part of our life, and we want that to continue. So.
And for me, I'd like to say, I have 2 memories. I was teaching school at Bushel Park School, which is the school at the air base. And one of my students in grade 7 was entered the contest of naming the Snowbirds, and Doug Farmer was chosen. His suggestion was chosen, and his prize was to get a ride in the simulator. That was what he got to have. And I also got to go to the very first air show, which was 1971. And it was like, I remember the stories of cars being backed up all the way to Pence, because there were thousands of people came to see the first air show. And it was just like, I was on the tarmac, and it was a beautiful sunny afternoon, and I was so proud to be there and to witness the skill set that Obi Philp and his, who began the thing with the Golden Centenaires as CO, and then being the base commander and deciding it was important that we have something like this for our community. So those are two good memories for me.
Excellent.
We're into our last minute and a half, believe it or not. And you guys, so what are the most important things for you, James, to get people?
Well, being part of our elected council, I like all of, council, we're just essentially letting people, make them aware of the simple Keep Them Flying campaign. That is I think the most direct way that every individual can show our elected officials on the Hill in Ottawa what the Snowbirds mean to us as a country and a nation. So I think just, as you said, Lyle, that needs to be kept front and center so that people continue to do that, because it is getting noticed. So.
And Mrs. Volunteer, what about for you? What's important for you? And what can you see people doing that would have a great impact?
Yeah, I think just keep sharing the stories. I mean, get involved, share those stories, and not only ask people to reconsider and send those emails and postcards in, but share the stories too, and make sure you take time to just reflect on what the Snowbirds and the Canadian Forces have meant to you throughout your life, as well as take the time to applaud them for what they do and salute them, just like we are here at Moose Jaw and what we're trying to do with the campaign, because
and
those services.
And come to the Western Development Museum.
Absolutely, come to the Western Development Museum. There's a whole
Snowbird Gallery.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's spectacular.
Yes.
And Lyle, I would just like to say a big thank you to the Snowbird alumni. They've been very instrumental in everything that has come together.
Yep.
Melissa would likely be able to comment on that more than me, but they are fully endorsing everything that has started here in the city of Moose Jaw and has fanned out to coast to coast to coast.
They're fantastic, and they keep sending out updates as to what we're doing, what they're sharing with us, what's going on as well. So we're working together, and I mean that just also highlights that unified front and sharing the same message. And
so, folks, no pause, and get your cards in to the city, into the House of Commons, so they get to know.
That's right, and I'll just say that if there are any individuals that will be seeing this when it airs that would like kind of the cardstock postcards, please just reach out to me, at my office, and I'll see that they are mailed out to you. So.
They're also available locally at multiple businesses, the tourism center, or visit the keepthemflying.ca website, and you can reach out that way, and we'll make sure you get some.
Thank you guys for taking time to come to see us today.
Thank you.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah. And thank you for watching, and I hope we'll see you again soon on Moose Jaw this week.